Alan, tell me the story for the Acolyte episode 7, and do me a favor.
Yes.
Explain it to me like I'm a 7-year-old, because that's the level of writing for a 7-year-old.
All right.
If you would.
Yeah. So, if you've been watching the Acolyte,
can I ask one thing? One thing. Sorry, Alan. Can I ask one thing? When you get to the Master Soul stuff, can you do his voice?
You know, I am so bad at Asian accents. We need Phil here to do that for me. All right. So as you know, building up over the episodes, particularly episode 3, there's been a lot of questions we've been having, have been being asked. Like, what happened to Torben? What happened to the witches? How did they die? What happened to the fire? Why are we in this situation? Well, thank God for episode 7, because those questions are going to be answered in another flashback. We're back on Brendok. The Jedi away team, let's call them that. They're on the planet collecting plant samples, looking for metal trinkets like soda pop tops and small change. And then they come across this tree, and at the tree are a pair of twins who are bickering amongst themselves. Master Saul sees them and says, "There's something about these people, because this whole planet, the whole planet of Brendok, is a thriving, living planet. But there was a hyperdrive accident that destroyed almost all the planets. But here, the planet is thriving for what Master Saul describes as the virgins. This planet is back to life because of the virgins." And so he goes back and tells the Kanaka, Indira, and Torben what's going on. And for some reason, Torben, he's afraid. I don't know why, but he's afraid, and he wants to go home to his mommy. But they say, "No, you can't. We've got to go in." And so we see what happened in episode 3 from the Jedi's perspective. And let's just say those damn Jedi, they're meddling too much. And because of their meddling, Mother Indira, are we supposed to talk spoilers now? But
yeah.
Let's go.
Warning, spoilers.
Yeah. So basically, we find out the true motivations of the Jedi. Look, there's these 2 girls who are created from the virgins. And it's up to Saul and Indira to grab these girls and to study them. But they have the witches in the way. Hey, don't play the song. We're gonna get copyright struck, right?
Sorry.
We're gonna get copyright struck. Sorry. All right. So the virgins. So we go back and they get the girls. But in the process, Saul kills Indira with his lightsaber. And I'm sorry if you're hearing this for the first time, Chris, but the rest of the witches, they all get strokes and they die. And
keep going.
Yeah, and as you know, at the end of episode 3, there's a bridge that the 2 girls are on. Saul tries to save them, but can only save one, and he of course saves Osha. And now we have all our questions answered over the past 6 episodes. Thank God. This was
the only positive you could say. The Wookiee, Kanaka Wookiee, with brandishing the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool for like 2 minutes. Really?
You thought that was cool? You thought that?
I wanted to see it, and I got to see it.
I'm just saying the battle in episode 4 was. I'm sorry, episode 5 was better than the battle between the Wookiees and the Jedi.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
We'll start with
tweets, but how is it that the show got progressively worse over time?
Worse, and this is worse than episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, we didn't need this episode. They basically repeated all the information we already knew from episode 3. There was about less than 10 minutes of info that was new or fresh.
Yeah. So look,
so this was and by the way, the important thing when he says to May, "I need to tell you what's really happened."
Yeah.
What is that? You're a good judge. What happens with the Jedi? Is that?
That's pretty close. Yeah.
Okay. So when the important thing is her reaction to hearing that information. If May is being given new info, the dramatic thing is for her reacting to the new info. Mm-hmm. This is an entirely flashback episode. It was like, this is not good storytelling.
Yeah. No, let me expand on that for a moment. So the end of episode 6, May is on the ship. She is bound down onto a stretcher, and Soul comes up and says, as you say, I have something I need to tell you.
No, you can do better than that.
I have something I need to tell you. And so he has this big secret he has to tell her. And that big secret is that he killed her mother, Mother Anastasia.
It was an accident, not intentional necessarily. Okay. He got his lightsaber out when she evaporated, and
right.
It's a weird thing.
Who was standing mere feet from Saul when he killed Mother Anastasia?
That other mother.
No, it was May.
No,
May was mere feet of Saul when he killed her mother. When the mother fell to the ground? Who is it who ran to the body of the mother? It was May.
May, right.
So let's talk about this. So at the end of episode 6, May is strapped down. Saul says, I have something I have to confess to you. But when he confesses it, she was there all the time and saw the whole thing.
Right.
So what is it that Saul has to tell May that she hadn't already seen?
Yeah, there isn't much new except the connection to the child. I have a connection. I need to take her. It reminds me of, I was telling Gary, it reminds me of that scene in the Blues Brothers with John Belushi is in the restaurant and said, how much for your children? How much for your children? The little kid, how much? It got to levels, am I wrong about this? It got to levels of creepy where like Soul feels a connection and wants to take the children from them. What it makes no sense.
Yeah. And again, what is the emotional impact of that? Why this is the problem. And you mentioned it on the Nooner today, but the character development in this show is miserable because we don't understand the motivations of people. We don't understand why Torben killed himself. I mean, that was it.
That was it.
That was it. What is May's motivation? What is she trying to get? What is Osha trying to get? What was, why did Torben want to go home? I don't understand that. Kalnaka, he's a Jedi who's big and strong. What was his motive? Why was he there on the planet other than to search for coins?
By the way, so many details are bad. We're only telling you about the big bad things.
Yeah.
So the Wookiee Jedi Kalnaka has a metal detector, which is technology from the 70s. Probably older than that, right? Probably
you could buy it off of a comic book.
You could buy it and go out and find loose change in fields after a concert and make $10. It was so ridiculous. You would think, aren't Jedi capable of feeling the Force? I found a quarter on the ground. Ridiculous. Anyway. So they're, in addition to all the big things that are bad, little minor details are just ridiculous. Yeah. Like Torben's, I just want to go home. It's been 7 weeks. I'm going to go back to Coruscant. This is a child.
And then answer this. What made Torben ultimately becomes a Jedi, and then he puts himself in stasis? How do you create a Jedi out of that character? How does Torben himself,
right?
He's a wimp. He's a kid. Yet somehow becomes a Jedi Knight. The other thing is, this redefinition of the Force. Look, I'm not an expert. Other people are experts on the Force, but this is what I understood about Jedi. is that they were in control of their emotions, that they were in touch with their emotions. And the idea that 4 Jedi can hold a secret like this without anyone knowing about it, without their emotions betraying them, it just seems off canon in a way. These 4 could not have lasted in the Jedi Order as long as they have, having A, PTSD, and B, a dark secret they're holding. And yet somehow they do, and that's where we are today with this story.
Yeah, there are lapses in logic that are ridiculous. The 2 girls who play the twins, I'm sorry, they're kids. They are not well directed. And so much information was repeated. Like there wasn't anything fresh. Like we hear part of a line that we already heard and then more that we didn't hear. There was none of that. They repeated whole scenes again. Am I stupid?
No, they repeated the worst line. And oh yeah, okay. This is repeated in episode 7. Master Indara says to the queens, or to the witches, "You cannot deny that Jedi have the right to test potential Padawan, with your permission, of course." Yeah. So we have a right, but we won't exercise. We can't exercise that right unless we have your permission.
It just makes no sense because it's terrible storytelling, right? The whole point of this was you maybe show a flashback that's like 10 minutes. We didn't see these things. You maybe hear a part of a line we would remember from episode 3 for context. And then, the reaction of May is the payoff. There is, I don't even see now how you land this plane. This will not only have an unsatisfying ending, it's going to be a terrible ending to the whole show.
Well,
I don't think Keemer is going to die or whatever. It's going to be an unsatisfying ending, not a cliffhanger, but an unsatisfying ending to beg a season 2.
So here's my predictions of the third one.
The last one, the 8th one.
The last one. Sorry, the 8th one. I'm sorry. I'm just pulling it up here from what I wrote because, let me see. Keep talking. I'll get to it in a moment.
Yeah, it's just we will get to your comments soon, and then I have a special treat.
Okay, so here's the prediction of episode 8. My prediction: it's going to end with an epic twin lightsaber fight. We're going to see the whip saber used in some incredibly stupid way, and then finally they are going to make a connection to Star Wars, to Lucas Star Wars, that's going to piss off everybody, and I don't think we know how they're going to do it, but it will be epic.
Well, they've already alluded to this Vergence is similar to what Anakin's creation, right? So I don't see how you wrap it all up at the pace that they're doing the storytelling, which is very slow, little bits of plot every episode. There's very little that happens in a half-hour episode.
Yeah. Let's just say this. We will probably on Versus, we're going to speculate about this. And everything we say in our speculations will be 100 times better than what we will actually witness in episode 8.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alan. 100 times better. All right. So I didn't think new depths could be reached. Yeah. This is worse than episode 3. And if this is the future of Star Wars, I don't know who they're making it for. They're not gaining new fans. They're only losing older fans. And the older fans are only watching it to goof on it, which is what we're doing now and what we're doing with our funeral. Again, a very solemn, serious event that no one should laugh at. They should take it very, very seriously, as one does take a YouTube funeral for a franchise that is dead. You should take it very, very, very seriously. Final thoughts, Alan, before we go to comments.
So of my Twitter rant that I went on yesterday, the one that got the most traction was this one. If I were a lesbian writer in Hollywood, I would get on X and let everyone know the quality of the Acolyte doesn't represent what the lesbians can do, and distance yourself from the show as fast and as far as you possibly can. This is the problem with DEI. It makes fools of those who have been granted the privilege of being in a position of showrunner, head writer, solely because of your identity. That's the saddest part, because of your identity and because you've been given a position that you know nothing about, you've just tainted the rest of the people out there who actually have talent, who are people of color, who are LGBT, and you've ruined it for them. Because now they'll just go back and hire white guys again. And shame on you for having done that.
Yeah. Well, I will talk about it next week. Please come to the funeral. And if you want to participate in the funeral, post your eulogy on social media with the hashtag Star Wars Funeral, and we will watch your eulogy on the live stream. Next week we will have we'll have Drinker. We're gonna have Gary from Neurotic. It's a lot of people you already know. That Star Wars girl, many people are coming on. So let's get to your comments here. Starting at the top, Alan. We're gonna read these, and then I have a treat. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna sing Twin Flame. I have Atomic Lori dug up the lyrics.
Okay. Hey, I just want to show you something.
Sure.
I hope to not trigger you with this, but I think it's worth it. Here we go. Sorry, Chris. Divert your eyes if you have to.
In the common room, the witches all collapse into.
All right, sorry. The massive stroke of the witches.
Oh God, it's so bad. They imply that Indara was responsible. It's ridiculous.